Screamcast. We don't give a shit about the audio quality sometimes, because sometimes Brad sounds like he's in a bathtub, like the last episode.
Are you recording right now?
Yes.
Okay, Brad was in a bathtub.
Was he?
That last episode.
Did you hear water?
100%.
Did you hear water, or was it just like his? I thought it was just a shitty mic or something.
No, I heard him dripping water and shit. like he would pick up a handful of water and just I don't know, drip it on his balls ever so gently.
What?
No, he was in the bathtub. 100%.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just say that. So welcome everybody to the Screamcast episode. We don't know. Steph and Brad were at Fantastic Fest. They're writing a bunch of reviews and blah 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 blah. What bloggers and what all those people do.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens. What I think is going on here is Brad and Steph represent film Twitter, and you and I represent an antithesis. Holy shit. An antithesis of film Twitter, where we don't get invited to film festivals, and we are both creating our own kind of creative endeavors.
Well, Sean, I love you, buddy, but I'm gonna stop you right there, because the reason Brad and Steph go to Fantastic Fest is because of the Screamcast.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's like I have 3 kids and shit, and I just can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Never mind. My life is sad.
No, I don't go to these things because I'm a far outsider, punk rock filmmaker, whatever. I don't know, NBD, but no excuse. I don't know.
Probably not. You know, every time I'm like, I think I'll go. My wife is like, let's make a vacation out of it, and I'm like, no, I don't. You don't. I'm like, you don't understand. I want to go to a film festival and sit with other film geeks in a theater, literally for probably 8 hours a day, for a week.
And it would be weird if she saw you make out with other people.
Yeah. And she wants to go out and see the sights. So I'm like, you would just be by yourself while I'm just watching movies with a bunch of other stinky, sweaty people, meanwhile inhaling all of their germs and getting the Fantastic Fest plague that so many people get to contract while they're there.
That's the one. So what are we doing instead of going to a cool film festival? I'm kind of bummed out now that you did this intro.
Well, they're going to be doing their roundup, I believe, if that ever happens.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It may not, because the South by Southwest episode is lost to the ether that Brad recorded. Allegedly had recorded half of it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know what happened to
that. All right. So Sean's not going to do it, so I'll do it. I'm Mike D. I'm on the show.
Shit, man. We're just doing this, man. This is, you know what this is.
What is it?
This is, if you become a member of Club Scum, which we're trying to ramp all this back up, right?
Uh-huh.
This is what the Screamcast late night episodes will sound like, and we're just giving you a little taste of that.
Uh-huh.
Just cash, total cash.
I don't know, man. I'm a member of the Third Estate. I'm a working class man myself. I don't think you should pay for shit. I don't think you should pay for shit. If there's some punk rock underground, just fucking take it. Especially if it's Sean and I talking about nothing. but goddamn, what was I gonna say?
You're introducing the show and yourself.
Yeah, I was sort of gonna introduce myself. That doesn't matter. No one cares. But Brad on the last episode of Screamcast. So you guys did a proper episode of Screamcast last time, but the one before that was Brad talking. It sounded like he was talking to himself in a basement.
Yes, right? Yes. Those are your mad genius editing skills, my friend. So I want to hear the story, because I was just like, fuck it, do whatever.
Yeah. So so much like you said, the South by Southwest episode was lost in the ether, whatever. But when Brad sent me the audio for him, Steph, and I talking about, we talked about Hellboy and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and scary stories to tell in the dark. And what else did we talk about? Um,
I wasn't there. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, a few others. But he sent me the audio, and it was just his side of the audio. Now, in Brad's defense, it sounds like, based on things you've told me, that that's, it's not his fault. Like, there's some shit
No,
that
no, no. It's
happens
not
with
his fault.
Skype and some other fucked up shit.
And it's why we've moved to Zoom to try out Zoom, and the quality's not as good on my. I mean, I was like basically recording my end, and my end sounded decent, and then I think we're now on level playing fields now. Uh, but yeah, we couldn't record episodes for shit. Like we almost lost the last one. We've been having issues with
Yeah.
recording.
No, yeah, I mean, it's super scary, especially when you spend like 2.5 hours or 3 hours. And that's what we spent doing this episode. And I was so pumped up because I was like, "Oh, it's my first proper episode of Screamcast," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to show people that I'm not just like this jokey guy from like Splat House where I sit around with Sarah and like make jokes at movies we like." And
Right.
because I don't know, the conceit of that show is kind of fucking dumb or weird. But I was like, "Ooh, we're gonna talk about movies." And then we talked about movies, and I had some brilliant things to say. And like Steph and Steph was super sweet because she like reiterated some of my points when you guys went back to some of the movies we talked about on your episode proper. But all I had on my end was Brad's audio. That's it. I didn't have Steph. I didn't have myself. I just had Brad's audio, and I'm like, fuck it. Like you got to make something out of this.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, what would happen? Oh, I'll take out all the things where he's interacting with people, and I'll put in some bong sounds and make it sound like he's talking to himself. And he has some pretty fucking hot takes on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I'll say that.
Yeah. I I nearly wet myself listening to that thing. It was so funny. Oh my god. He was. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was fake mad or really mad. We may never know because it was not mentioned on the last episode at all.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah,
I
he
don't
said it
remember.
was fucking stupid.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And it was fucking stupid. He's not wrong.
Uh,
But I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Like, all we have is content, you know?
at this point, I'm just like, we got to keep the Screamcast feed going. Let's just feed it some content, and we'll come back with proper Screamcast once we're ironing things out, ironing out our schedules, and we'll be coming back with proper Screamcast probably in January or in the end of the year here for sure. But just got it's like we got to get some stuff in the feed for 2019.
No, for
Um,
sure, for sure. This is
so
what, like episode 4? This
yeah,
is only
something.
like
This is the fourth.
it's nuts. It's fucking October, Sean.
It's like the fifth one or something. Fifth one maybe officially. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. So what are we what are we talking about today?
Well, I had
I have no agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Go.
I have no agenda. I've been narrating The Brain Eaters by Gary Brandner, author of The Howling, and I hit the halfway mark right before we hit record. I hit the halfway mark, and I'm hoping to kind of dig in and get this shit done
That's amazing. That's so
by the
cool.
weekend.
That's so
So
cool. Like for real, that's amazing.
it's yeah. Gary Brandner's a real. I love paperbacks from hell are awesome. Like my favorite thing. I love that book. I love the covers, and the books are just fun. So to be doing one is pretty awesome.
Sure. Do you have the book paperbacks from Hell?
Yeah,
The
of course. Yeah,
Beautiful. And then do
yeah.
you buy, because they've released some of the paperback. They've gotten the rights to them and
Well,
re-released.
yeah. Valancourt Books is on their session 2, I think,
Uh-huh.
of these paperbacks from hell. They're buying up the rights to some of these, and they're on the second one. and they've announced the titles, and I've signed up. This isn't a Valancourt title. This is by
Uh-huh.
Encyclopocalypse Productions, and yeah,
Encyclopocalypse.
yeah,
Rad.
um, yeah. Where's my phone? Where's my phone here? But hold on 1 second. I'm trying to find a text message here. Um, um, so who runs it is Mark Allen Miller, and he worked with Clive Barker. He was
Huh?
responsible for for the Nightbreed Blu-ray. He was responsible for the director's cut, producing that.
Oh, the
Kind of brought
Cabal
everyone together.
version?
Not the Cabal version, but the
Oh.
Scream Factory released Nightbreed director's cut. So he was involved with getting that actually made and out there, and talking to Clive about it. And he ran Clive Barker's Twitter account. He ran Stan Lee's Twitter account. So the dude's like, and he's producing something with Fangoria, kind of a play. Barbara Crampton is doing a voice in it. So he's like doing some shit. So then he kind of spun off, and he bought all the rights to all of Gary Brandner's books except for The Howling. He's, I guess, working on those because they're more expensive, and some other ones. So he's releasing some kind of independent horror audiobooks and in print. And him and I have become buds, and so I'm doing this. So hopefully, there'll be more on the table with that.
What does that mean? You guys become buds? Like, what do? You go out, you get beer, or you eat
Well, he's in
nachos?
LA. We were gonna meet up for beers, and then
Uh-huh.
his wife got like super sick, and like in the hospital sick, and he's like, "Oh, I can't meet up."
Oh
So,
no.
but we text back and forth. He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, and we'll touch base probably once a week since we did this, and I don't know.
How sick does
He's a good
Jen
guy.
need to get before you're like, I can't go anywhere? Does she need to
House.
like cough something up? Like,
I
what
don't
do you
know.
think? You don't know?
Like probably hospital.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. If it's like a business meeting, you know what I mean, and I had a
Hmm.
business meeting scheduled. Uh, if she had like a little cough, it'd be fine. We'd make it work.
Wait, one more
But
time. Do it again.
it's
This is what you can get, folks, if you buy the book that Sean
yeah,
Drager narrates.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's a lot of pressure. The whole thing is like, man, I hope I don't fuck this thing up. It's like all the thing. And it's funny. I talk to other narrators, and they're getting the like another acquaintance of mine does he's done a handful of the paperbacks from hell, and every time he gets one, he's like, I just hope I don't fuck it up. It's like he's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I just don't want to screw this thing up and have people hate me. So I don't know. I guess that's I think it's every creative person is just like, I hope people like this. I hope I don't fuck up. Right?
Do you guys all sound like you? Like, do you sound like
No,
cool
no, no, no.
dudes that should be on the radio? Or
No, some no. That's the cool thing. Like the I'm working with a coach, and she's trying to train me not to put on radio voice and not to try to perform, to try to just talk normal like we're talking now and narrate the book like this. But I'm like, well,
uh-huh.
I'm a goofy ass. Like people don't want to hear me narrate a serious book in my, my podcaster voice. But so she's working with me on kind of breaking all that down. So it's weird. It's all weird.
That's fun. Yeah, that I mean that's hard to do though, man. Like cuz I did stage acting, I've done like screen acting, and then when I do like podcasting, I always want to default to that like radio zoo like DJ voice, where you're like,
Yeah.
"Hey everybody, we're where like you're kind of making fun of the bit, and
Yeah.
then you're kind of creating a new bit on top of it. Like I don't know. But
Yeah.
then last night, Sarah and I were playing. We were playing a VHS board game, Nightmare. Where
Oh.
you put in the VHS tape and you roll the dice and you're playing the game, and then the dude fucking screams at you like to stop playing, and you have to listen to him. And then like that was fun because I felt like I was back at theater where I wasn't putting on like a show for the podcast or whatever. And I don't know, it's hard to untrain yourself like once you've done what 168 episodes of Screamcast, like
So yeah.
it's hard to untrain yourself. And then
Because you want to yell, like you
uh-huh.
want, and like narration, you're supposed to be narrating the book, like not. And he walked into the office and saw the, it's like you can't do that, and I don't do that. By the way, I probably narrate most of my stuff like this, but even this, like I feel like I'm talking too loud now that I've been trying to dial it back with the
Would
brainy.
would you say that it sounds like you might be reading porn to your grandson?
Yeah, yeah. That was that
Uh-huh.
was a that was a lovely review of the fetishists, from someone I believe who used to listen to the show, or they still do. I don't know, but I got a chuckle out of that. I'm learning to laugh at the negative reviews, and we got one today for the Gordon. I'm sorry, this is turning into the audiobook cast, and Brad would normally shut this shit down, but
Brad's
but
not here. Fuck Brad. Like
but Isaac Thorne, who
this is what
listens
we got to talk about.
Isaac Thorne, who listens to the show, he
Uh-huh.
he does his own podcast stuff, and he's an author. Wrote a book called The Gordon Place, and it's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
it's an awesome kind of Stephen Kingish, uh, vibe-ish, book, kind of about a nice little twist on supernatural. And of course, two of the characters are like are snowflake liberals, according to conservatives. And there's a rant in chapter 2 by the character who is a liberal gay man who grew up in a small southern Tennessee town. And of course, he's ranting against this town because they're heading to it to do a stupid little haunted house story. They're newscasters, and he's like a cameraman. So he has this rant, this anti-Trump rant, and it's from the character's point of view. And what some people like don't understand, like especially with novels, they're written from that character's perspective, even though it's like third person.
Mm-hmm.
You'll you're in their head all the time. Whoever is the center of the chapter, right? Or the section of the chapter, you're in their head. So of course, like he's like he hates what Trump's done to this country. He hates all this stuff, and he's making a point from his perspective. And it's once the kind of far right conservative people will hear that chapter, they freak out and they'll either stop listening or they'll have a different perspective of the book from there on out and just hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Well,
got
he's the
one
gay,
today that,
Sean.
yeah, he's
He's the
gay and
gay.
he's liberal,
Yeah.
liberal and he's gay.
Mm-hmm.
So we got one review today that said, uh, conservative are racist. And then it went to rant on how liberals think all conservatives are racist. But the
Fair.
review was very
Honestly,
racist.
fair enough, because all conservatives are racist. Fair
Well,
enough.
yeah, which is funny. That was the subject. But it's funny because you see some of these reviews and like some of them are like, I can't believe this book is telling me not to hate black people. Basically, it's like this book's telling me what to do. And it's like, well, if you read the book, you understand that like, no one's telling you what to do. This is all from perspectives of each
It's
character.
true.
And you can kind of take
Yeah.
whatever you want from the story. But the main point of the story is don't be a fucking asshole. Like
Yeah.
that's the whole, if there's a message to it, just to a scary story, like
But
that's the
also, you
message.
don't have to listen to the book. If you already don't like black people, then you're already a racist. So there you go.
Well, it's right there in the summary,
Uh huh.
and Isaac Thorne even did a little note from the author at the beginning, and people even hate that, but then they keep listening. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
So
on Medias Res, we get an occasional bad review. Well, there's a weird thing where uh, the people that review the movie, it's like most of the time, if they're ladies, or as Brad calls them, females. You were on, were you on that text thread today?
yeah, that's pretty funny.
I don't know
Female,
what that is. Like he
hey
keeps
y'all,
saying
hey
female.
y'all, females.
I know. I'm like females. I don't know, but apparently, if you're a female, you like the movie, and if you're male, you do not like the movie. There's this
Really?
weird discrepancy on IMDb where it's like women are like 9.0 out of 10, and like males are like 4.0 out of 10, and we have all these conspiracy theories like why. It's mostly, I think that the ladies like Mike D. That's what I gotta say.
And they like the D.
They like the D.
Yes,
I'm
right.
right there.
Right,
I'm in the
right.
movie. I don't know. I wrote it. I produced it. I don't know. But
Hey, dude, by the way,
uh-huh.
I'm a dude and I loved it. I love Medias Res
You like the
and
movie?
I like the movie. And dude, you're a good actor. Like there's like you do these subtle things with your eyes every now and then that I'm just like, man. I was like, I'm watching it, I'm like, God damn it, that part right there, Mike, that was awesome. So
Yeah.
it's I don't know. I mean, people I don't know why people are hating on it. Some people don't, I guess, understand like independent cinema. Like, but dude, for independent flick, man, it's like it looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it only costs like a couple $1,000 to make, and it was like three of us. It was Sarah, myself, and Ed, like most of the time, and we had a cast of like 50 that would like come in and out. So whatever, it's like a fun project. Um, and of course, I'm joking about the like white people like it or don't like it, but God, what am I saying? Oh, but we've gotten some bad reviews. It's not many. It's like here or there. It's on Letterboxd, and all the dudes look the same. Oh, that's what I was getting to. All the dudes look the same. So there's like a fun thing you can do on social media where you can look at how people are, and you can like frame them up against like other people that say similar things, and then
Huh.
you're like, oh, this person doesn't like the movie, this person doesn't like the movie, and you're like, computer cross-reference douchebag 1 and DB2, and then you put them together and you're like, ooh, the neck beard goes to the same region,
there there
and then you're
is
like,
there
well,
is a douchebag look. Like
yes,
there is a look.
yes,
In every geographic location is different. I'm sure Northern California is different than Southern California, but here, I mean, and this is just look at yeah, we're sizing people up based on how
mhm,
they look, which is a kind of a fucked up thing to do. But I would say, maybe 80% of the time I'm right. And like here in Southern California, it's the Dickies shorts, it's the black socks with the Vans, and then a flat bill hat with some, motocross logo or something across the top.
well, I feel
Sometimes,
personally attacked, but
dude,
still, you're defending me, so.
are you wearing a flat bill hat right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, the one I have right now, Sean, and I'm not making this up. I'll send you a picture on
we're
Twitter
not
or
we're,
text.
we're not yeah, we're not video chatting. We're only audio chatting.
You can't see it, but I have a Vampira hat.
Well, Vampira is not a bro brand, right?
Right, but it's flat
Vampira
bill.
is a movie.
It's flat
Okay.
bill. I
Now,
usually bend my bill, but I'm not bending this one because on the bottom of the bill it says Vampira,
mm,
and it says established
okay.
1954.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, so look at there's some we're crossing the streams here, obviously. Things are flat bill hats are kind of getting more into the culture. Now, let
Mhm.
me ask you this. Do you tuck your ears into the hat?
No, fuck no.
That that's a thing. So look, maybe that's a telling thing now. If you tuck your ears into your flat bill hat, fuck you.
Hmm.
I don't know. And I apologize if you actually are a nice person listening to this podcast and you do that. I am sorry. But listen, it looks ridiculous. And my wife and I, every time we're out, we comment on it. One of our servers at a restaurant, ears tucked into the hat. I did that when I was 8 because my head was too small.
Well, you had a tiny head.
Mm-hmm. Oh
What?
yeah,
How'd you
man.
get a tiny head?
Me and hats, like, were not, we're not compatible for a while. Baseball was a very hard sport for me because of hats.
Baseball?
Well, because you had to wear a hat. And I had to, like, put my hat on,
Baseball's
like
difficult because you have to wear a hat?
it it was embarrassing because I didn't like wearing the hats. I had to tuck my little ears into the hat, and it was just this big thing on top of my head.
Wait, your ears are tiny? Why are you tucking them into a hat? Like you'd think you'd tuck a thing that was big.
My head was small.
Your head was small, your ears were small, your hat was big, and then you tuck your ears into the hat, sir?
Yes. Yeah, I have pictures somewhere. My mom does. They're at my mom's house.
now's a good point to point out that Sean is kind of adorable. If you've never seen a picture of Sean, look him up. He's a good-looking man. um, he obviously has a great voice for radio and books, but I don't know what the fuck he's talking about right now. You had a tiny head, and
Yeah.
your ears were small, and you tucked them into a
Well,
hat.
my ears must have been big for my
Your ears
head.
were big. Okay, that makes sense. If your
Uh,
ears
all I
were
know
big,
is all I know is I couldn't put the hat like like in in between my ears and my head. I had to just tuck my ears in because the hat was so big, and I had it on the smallest setting. I don't know. It's been a long time. Are we gonna talk about movies? We've
no,
this is so far. This
no,
has
I don't
been
want to.
Sean and Mike plug their shit.
No,
Um,
Sean, I talk to you like honestly. You and I have a text thread. You and I go back and forth. I think very rarely you and I talk about movies, and I'm like,
we
I just want to talk to Sean. Like, I
I
love
know
Sean.
this is basically the Sean and Mike love fest. Is
That
what's going
I
on.
mean,
We really don't like. It's funny because yeah, you and I really don't talk about movies. Does that mean we don't watch movies?
I watch movies. I watch a lot of movies. I
I
think
tell
you
you,
do too.
I
But
am I am watching
uh-huh.
Carnival Row right now on Amazon Prime
It's a TV show, right?
TV show, but
I haven't
goddamn,
seen that. Can I tell
it's
you what
good.
I know about Carnival Row?
Yes.
I was at a Jack in the Box in Vallejo, California, and I was sitting there and oh, I'm on this new diet. It's like, well, it's not new to anybody else, but it's like a elimination diet. So I'm taking things that I don't want to eat out, right? You
Okay.
know. So I'm sitting there, I'm just eating the beef patty, the lettuce, the tomato. I'm like eating it with a fork and shit, no condiments. And I'm overhearing
At a Jack in the Box.
at a fucking Jack in the Box, and I'm overhearing this conversation, and this dude's like, been watching that Carnival Row.
Oh
And
no.
well, he's like an old guy. He's like, maybe
Okay.
70 years old. And then a super young guy that I thought was maybe his son or something, but maybe a subordinate at work. I don't know. But the young guy's like, what's that? And he's like, it's a show on Amazon. And the guy's like, how do you get Amazon? And then the whole conversation dovetailed into like, how, how do you get a streaming service to show you these things that no one's ever heard of? But then at the end of it, the guy's like, do you like the show? And then the old guy's like, yeah, it's really good. I thought the cinematography was bad the first episode because I couldn't see it. It was dark, but then it got better. That's all I know about Carnival Row.
Well, the guy's full of shit. He probably needs to adjust his TV set because it looks gorgeous.
The cinematography is great.
Oh, dude, it's probably one of the best looking TV shows I've seen. The effects are top notch because they got, it's like dark fantasy, right? So you got basically, everyone has converged into this kind of a slums area called Carnival Row. There's of course upper class political stuff going on, but the row is basically like I don't know. Oh, Gangs of New York, right? It feels like Gangs of New York,
Hmm.
mixed with like fantasy creatures. So there's fairies, who've been kicked out of their land, and they're all not allowed to fly, but they do, of course.
Wait,
And um,
say that part one more time. Who gets kicked out?
the fairies get kicked out of their land because of a big war.
They can't, and they can't fly. Like the fairies are fucking grounded.
They're grounded because, like, I guess it's against the law to fly. See, that's my one criticism on the show is the beginning of the show opens with
Uh-huh.
a bunch of fairies running away from soldiers, right? Like
Uh-huh.
being gunned down left and right, and
Gee.
they're in a forest, but it's not like a dense forest,
Uh-huh.
and none of them fly. Like
They're
none of them fly away.
they're fairies. I mean, that's kind of like
They
the first thing you do.
the so so there's a criticism there, and I haven't found out like as far as that went, like why they're in their land, why couldn't they can fly? And then there's another
Are
part of the
you fucked
show.
up? Like, did you write someone about this? Are you like, why can't the fairies fucking
I
fly?
don't think I was high enough to watch to do that. But then there's another scene where there's like fairy gangsters, and one of them fails, and they shove it off the top of a balcony of a giant building, and I'm like, the fairy has wings. Why did it fly? Because it falls to its death.
And it's firmly established the fairies have wings.
Yeah, and they fly. Because our main character gets yelled at for flying. And she jumps off the very same balcony and flies. So there's a couple things that's bothering me. But as far as the look of it and everything, Orlando Bloom kicks ass.
He's in the show? Orlando Bloom?
He's really, really good in it too.
From Elizabethtown?
Yeah. No, he's really good.
The same? Wow.
Yeah. I'm having fun with it. But yeah, there is some inconsistencies with the fairies flying. Because it's like they have wings, they're there. Like, why? There's a few. There's 2 instances where fairies could have avoided plummeting to their deaths.
You should write a strongly worded like letter to the editor. You should be like, sir, these fairies should be alive, man.
You murdered hosts of fairies just for your show. You murdered
innocent fairies, sir.
I tell you, sir. I say to you, sir.
I said good day. I said good day, sir.
I say good day. So what's a recent movie you've seen? Have you seen any good movies, Mike?
Well, I watched not 9.5 weeks. Excuse me. I watched Wild Orchid, the Mickey Rourke Fucks Everybody movie, with a young Bruce Greenwood. So that's a sexy one. I'm saving that for a Splathouse though.
Very nice.
You canceled Screaming Pod, so I can't promote it. but it's on F This Movie.
No, I was gonna say, F This Movie picked up Splathouse. You're in better hands.
Way better. I hope Patrick doesn't listen to this show. But if you've ever seen my partner and co-host and best friend Sarah, you'll know that she's a beautiful woman that loves Mickey Rourke and sometimes forces me to watch things where Mickey Rourke fucks other things. So
nice.
So there's that.
That's its own genre.
Yes. You know what I watched last night though, Sean, and I do want to talk about it for a short couple of few, and maybe you've seen it in the last few years, or maybe you want to hear about the new Blu-ray. But I watched The Stand.
Oh, I have it on. Is it out on Blu-ray? I must.
It is. So they did a new Blu-ray because Mick Garris shot it on 35, and all we had for a while was it was like Republic Pictures or Columbia, CBS, like put it out like on the video transfer of the 35 of the TV broadcast, and that's kind of cool because it kind of, at least in my opinion, it mimics like what it looked like on TV in 1994. But a Blu-ray came out this week that looks legit like a goddamn fucking movie. And if you're a fan of Mick Garris or his Stephen King adaptations, this is a fun one to pick up because outside of Sleepwalkers, like he hasn't had many theatrical exhibitions of his work, and I mean especially on a film format. And what they did was they did a beautiful restoration. Oh, you know what, Sean? You're a big Star Trek fan, right?
Yeah.
So CBS, they did the restorations of Next Gen and the original series. They did the same thing for The Stand. It looks beautiful.
Did they? Well, was there any CG effects or anything? Did they update any like effects? Because that's
they didn't. No, they didn't update effects, and okay. There wasn't like the weird thing with. Yeah, I know what you're saying with like. God, even on like modern like Joss Whedon shows like Firefly or whatever, like they do effects in, like 480, and then the show is shot in like 1080.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't match up, and you'd be like, "What the fuck is it?" No, there's none of that. It's all pretty practical.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. I think it was done early enough that it was pretty practical. Yeah, that's what they did with Next Generation for sure. They had to because they couldn't bring it to Blu-ray because all the effects were done in 480. So they were like, well, fuck it. I guess we just got to redo these.
Yeah, no, but and we should not use this 5 seconds to slander next gen because that fucking Blu-ray presentation is amazing.
Oh, I'm not slandering. I actually I love it. I'm glad they did it because
Yeah.
I even like that they did that on the original Star Trek. Some people there's purists that don't, but I'm like they did. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna George Lucas it and add new effects, I feel like they did it right. They kind of
No, for sure.
kind
The
of seamless.
George Lucas scene on the original series is amazing. Like
Yeah.
where they have the CGI ship come out and yeah, no, that's great. I like that. But but what they did was they presented all the original special features on the Blu-ray. So what I did, because I'm a big commentary nut, we'll talk about Fanatic in a second, right, John? Are we going to talk about Fanatic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck
So
yeah,
I'm a
we are.
big I'm a big commentary nut. I did a commentary for Fanatic, but
I
but
need to listen to that.
my thing here is like I love the commentary for The Stand because they have Stephen King, they have Mick Garris, and then they have my dude, the fucking rapist Rob Lowe. They have him do some
Jesus
commentary
Christ.
too, and like
Wow.
it's wild, man, because it's 1994 commentary, so it's only like a
Okay.
couple years removed from like Rob Lowe's
Right.
Descent, you know, like when he was
Yeah.
hosting the Academy Awards and he's like, maybe, maybe I can keep this thing going and I'll fuck Snow White or something. But
Is Stephen King still in his coke days, or is he
no, no, not at this
not in his
point.
maximum overdrive days?
No, no,
Coke
not at
binge.
all. Because this is like '94. But there is
94.
a
Okay.
beautiful, you know, what fans of Garris and King would like nowadays is hearing. There's like a maybe 10-minute segment where they talk about Joe Bob Briggs because there's a character in obviously the novel called Joe Bob, a sheriff, and Stephen King was like, wouldn't it be cool if we got the driving critic Joe Bob Briggs to play Joe Bob? And they talk about Joe Bob. They talk about his, of course, his like real alias John Bloom and what he does in real life outside of just reviewing movies, which I think is like a thing that people don't talk about. Sean, fucking
Yeah.
John Bloom, Joe Bob Briggs, he's nominated for the like Pulitzer Prize in
Wow.
journalism.
What?
Did you didn't know that?
No.
No, he wrote an amazing book in goddamn 2016 about it's about a an element that the government was trying to get the rights to, but like other because of capitalism, like other people own the rights to it, and it was like the struggle of the government trying to get the right. But he wrote a huge novel, a nonfiction novel about this event that was nuts, and he was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize for it. And that's actually how I met him because
Wow.
his journalist, or not his journalist, his manager sent me to like a reading that he was doing in Mountain View or whatever in Northern California. So I went out, did that, and then while I was there, I could prove this with pictures, by the way. While I was there, he met his mail girl that he uses on the last drive-in that night. He met her for the first time that night.
No way.
Yes way. I have a picture with me and her. I think at the time she was known by the porn name Diana Prince, but she's behind me, and I'm about to go up to John. That's Joe Bob's real name. Anyway, but I thought it was hilarious because I was like, who the fuck was that girl? Like, why was that girl like meeting with him for so long? Because I bought him a cup of coffee and we talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Hell High and Samurai Cop and a bunch of other things. But I'm like, who was that person? And then now she's the fucking mail girl on his Shutter show.
Oh.
Nuts.
crazy how life just comes together. People just connect.
All right, ready?
For what? What are we doing? Fanatic?
Yeah, buddy.
Fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck.
Fanatic cast.
Holy shit. If you haven't seen Fanatic,
Yeah.
starring John Travolta, directed by Fred fucking Durst.
Mm-hmm.
What the? You need
Because you
to
gotta have faith.
you need to stop this episode.
You gotta have faith, the faith, the faith,
You need to stop this episode
baby.
and watch Fanatic before you listen any further, because what a movie. What a movie. Holy shit. I didn't, and I wasn't even going to watch it because I was like, until you, Mike D, were raving about it. So what was it? What is it specifically that, that you think did it for you with Fanatic?
So the thing for me with Fanatic is that there seems to be online, there seems to be this like, well, there's like a Nick Cage renaissance where like anything Nick Cage does is great.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also this like quiet thing happening in the corner where like John Travolta is doing similar work. To be 100% honest, he's doing similar work. And people I think are like super quiet about it, and I'm like very interested in what John Travolta's doing. And he had been shooting this movie for years that was called Moose, and I had seen like a couple pictures where he's wearing print shorts and like some fucking Tommy Bahama shirt, or like he works at Pixar or something, some Hawaiian shirt, right? And he has these shaved sides on his head, and he's playing a fan of an action star. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because this seems, honestly, it seems more bold in my mind than the choices Nick Cage is making. I love Nick Cage. I love Between Worlds. I love fucking Mandy. I love Joe. I love what Nick Cage is doing. But I'm looking at John Travolta, especially coming off Gotti, and I'm like, what is this move? Like, how do you go from playing like the sexy mobster, like Oscar maybe wannabe performance to this? And I'm like, I'm very curious what this is. And I made a joke earlier. I was singing "Faith" by George Michael, but of course, Fred Durst remade it famous in 1998. But Fred Durst, the lead singer of Limp Bizkit, is the writer-director of this movie. And he's a person, and I'm not making fun at all, but he's a person I'm very interested in.
Oh no, me too, man.
I'm very curious by Fred Durst. And I'm not to say that like ironically or like in a hipster sense or whatever, but he's a very curious person to me as a pop personality, as a filmmaker, as a voice. And I was like, I want to see this fucking horror movie, or quote unquote horror movie that Fred Durst is making. And God, it was gonna, Sean, do you remember it was gonna premiere at Cannes, and then they canceled it. And then they said shortly after the cancellation at Cannes, they're like, "Oh, it'll come to Amazon or whatever."
It says, I think it was Netflix. So it was the original rumor was Netflix.
Yeah, they didn't give a date or anything. But my boy and I, Edwin, I live with my director, my co-writer director. But we found out, we're like, oh, they just fucking dumped it on Amazon, and like we were up in its ass, like fucking no like no shit, like Ted Danson and Kirstie Alley, we were up in its ass. And then we watched it and we were like, oh my god, because we loved Gotti, because Screamcast has become Gotti Cast.
I still need to see it. I
You
can't
haven't
believe
seen
it.
Gotti?
No, but I need to because Brad gave it like this rave review, and I'm like, what are we, Movie Pass now? Because Movie
No,
Pass
God,
was all about,
Sean,
and
Gotti's
Gotti's what sunk Movie
amazing.
Pass.
Like I love Brad, but sometimes like when he goes into like full critic, I'm like, what the fuck is Brad talking about? I love Brad. But when he talks about Gotti, he's 100% correct. Like the shit where he's like, you won't believe this needle drop or like this choice or like you won't. You will not. Like even if he tells you or I tell you like in advance, you won't see it coming. And then I was like, what the fuck? Like, how do you beat Gotti? And then the answer to how do you beat Gotti? The Fanatic. The
Yeah,
Fanatic is nuts.
because
And the best thing about the Fanatic, Sean,
yeah.
it's like 80 minutes long.
Oh, it's
It is the shortest movie I've ever seen.
perfect. It's perfect for a movie you're like on the fence on watching. You know what I mean? And like it's like, why wouldn't you give this a shot? It's only 80 minutes. Just give it a watch. Give it a whirl. But no, Travolta's cranked up to 11 here, and there was the in Tropic Thunder, of course, there's the joke, do you never go full retard, you know?
Mhm.
And there's the joke that Travolta is going full retard here because he is playing someone who is, and I apologize for the use of that word, but I'm just quoting Tropic
Do
Thunder.
you say this because you know I'm
Um,
a hero? I'm a special
no,
education
I no, I
teacher.
know, and
It's literally what I do every day.
I know, and I love that, and
Uh-huh.
I respect that.
Do you?
I do,
Uh-huh.
I do. I actually have a cousin who's special needs as well.
Oh, you have a cousin who's retarded. That's what
No,
you're saying.
no, god damn it, no. Anyway,
uh,
good God Almighty. But he's cranking it here, and I'm not sure, like, because obviously Moose is not 100% there. Um, was what I gather. Is what they're trying to
he's
convey.
100% on the spectrum, though.
Yes, yes,
Like,
Ha-
no, you're not wrong in that he's special needs, quote unquote, but
yeah,
he's on the autistic spectrum for sure.
right. And that's what I gather. But I'm wondering. I'm wondering, like, did he overplay it, or is he? You know what I mean? Like, is it because people are criticizing his performance, saying he's
Really? They're criticizing John Travolta in The Fanatic.
yes.
They're wasting their fucking time. He's amazing in that movie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there.
He like for real though, like if it's in earnest or if it's like whatever, some of his line readings are the funniest things I've ever seen. But there's like but there is like a fine line between like funny and like earnest. I
Yeah.
think that's what I mean to say. In
I
that
but I
like
think his character would say this stuff.
yes,
100% believed his
yes,
character
a
would
hundred.
tell somebody he was gonna cut his head off like Freddy Krueger and,
Uh-huh.
kick it across on the ground, or
Uh-huh. Yeah.
100% believe that. And it's
A
and it's
hundred. Yes. Thank
and
you,
the and,
Sean.
and the
That is
I gotta
exactly
poo.
what I'm talking about.
Can't
Yes.
talk long. I gotta poo. Yes, he would say
That's
that.
the first line of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I can't talk long. I gotta take a poo. Yeah, that's the first line of the movie. God damn. But I think everyone should see The Fanatic. Honestly, I think everyone should see it. And there's some bullshit reviews online where they're like, "Oh, it's middling or it's no, you should watch The Fanatic. You should watch it. Because honestly, it's 70 minutes. Who the fuck cares? Like, if you're embarrassed by your like husband or wife seeing that you've done this, please just go get like a Visa like gift card. I don't know, from Safeway or Vaughn's or something, and then
Uh-huh.
put that into your Amazon or Voodoo, and then rent it that way. But
Yeah.
it is an amazing movie.
It's so batshit, but it's like the batshit that I like. Like, I'll give a movie props if it just gets weird and goes for it. Like, um, somebody was talking about a movie the other day.
Uh-huh.
God damn it, what's the movie called? Something about water. I can't think right
The
now.
the weight of water.
Not the weight of water.
The Water Watcher. What's the one
Yeah,
with Russell Crowe? Oh,
directed
didn't
by.
Russell Crowe and direct a movie about water in Australia that Eli Roth produced? What is that? The Weight of Water? I don't
Weight
know.
of This water is so heavy.
Uh-huh.
A cure for wellness is what I'm
Oh,
thinking of. The the
that's what
the
you're thinking of? That's a
Get
good
this.
movie.
The director of Velociraptor was
What?
making was online the other day,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sure Velociraptor's funny. Him and I have talked online. I'm sure he's a good guy. Um,
Velocipaster.
Velocipaster. God damn it. I'm it's late.
It's Wild Eye. It's from Brad, like literally
Velocipaster.
your life
Uh
mate. Uh-huh.
Velocipaster. The
Uh-huh.
director of Velocipaster
Sure.
is making fun of A Cure for Wellness by Gore Verbinski, which,
Really?
yes, which I think is one of the finer modern horror movies, and I think it was wrongly panned. I think it's a really awesome flick. It gets
I'm a fan of
weird
A
and
Cure
goes
for
for
Wellness, for sure. For
it.
sure.
So anyway, I like a movie that maybe it's a little bit long, and maybe people just don't have time. It's too long movie. So look, The Fanatic is fucking short, and it gets fucking weird as shit. It's like in all the right ways. And even there's even a Fred Durst, of course, gets a Limp Bizkit song into the movie by our lead, the guy that plays the action hero is talking to his son. You like Limp Bizkit?
That
I
is
laughed.
nut. Sean, that is insane. When he turns to his son and he's like, "You like Limp Biscuit?" And I'm like, I looked at Ed and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? Are they doing this? Are we breaking this fourth wall?" Like, because it's only like 20 minutes into the movie, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck is happening?" Yeah, but it's Devon Sawa plays Hunter Dunbar. Yeah, Hunter Dunbar.
Hunter Dunbar.
But like literally, Sean, their names are Moose and Hunter.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know.
It's so good.
It there's a scene in this film that I
Mhm.
was literally on the edge of my seat nervous. And there's a scene like this in the Robin Williams movie 1 Hour Photo. But I think it's a dream in 1 Hour Photo. Here it's really happening. And I was
Also, 1 hour photos a
blown away.
Mark Romanek movie,
Yeah.
like a good like seasoned director.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Yeah. The scene where Robin Williams is, like, taking a shit in, like, the person's house.
Uh huh.
Uh, they do this in The Fanatic, that same kind of scenario, and but they, like, take it to the next level, and it's wonderfully done. I was I was legitimately nervous on how it would play out. I didn't know how I
That scene's nuts
didn't.
though. Like where John Travolta's in the house and they're kind of like playing through the scenarios, and then because there's a bit with Devon Sawa, or depending on who you listen to, Devon Soya, uh, where I honestly think that's a drag. But anyway, but there's a bit where he's like brushing his teeth,
Yeah.
and then what does he say to his son? Like Devon Soya is like, you spit in the sink, or there's like a weird thing where John Travolta spits in the sink, and like maybe the kid doesn't. Like, how am I remembering this, Sean? There's a weird thing where
Or
like he's using like the toothbrush from
yeah.
the kid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't fucking know. Watch. It's a 70-minute movie. Fucking watch it.
Watch it. Oh man.
All right, let's do one
Uh,
more movie.
sure.
We
Sure.
did
Let's
we
do
did
one more
what, 2
movie.
movies?
Yeah, we did, talked a little bit about The Stand and Wild Orchid and stuff. We
Uh-huh.
can do Fanatic and I'm trying to think like if there's anything I've watched and been like insanely excited about. I don't keep
Really?
track. I don't keep track of what I watch. You know, I don't
Well,
know.
one thing is, the August package of Vinegar Syndrome was amazing, and, one big thing with me and Ed in this apartment is Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Oh yes. Let's talk some
That
Hell Comes to Frogtown because that release.
honestly, like, it's amazing because, well, you and I both know Brad personally, and it's like super cute to see him like on a text thread months ago talk about like Hell Comes to Frogtown, and we're like, fuck you, you don't have Hell Comes to Frogtown, and then like August rolls around and it fucking comes out and we all pay for it and we love it and shit. But like, it's nuts.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I have the Arrow Blu-ray, but I think which is great, and but man, oh man, like there, I don't really like slipcases, but god damn it, Vinegar Syndrome, like making me like their freaking slip boxes. This thing's
That
like
box is
nuts.
nuts,
I was like,
Sean.
what the fuck is going on here?
Sean, I put my dick in that box, and then I told Ed to shoot my dick
Yeah.
with a gun, and
So
then
you have to kind
nothing
of
happened.
shake the Blu-ray out, right? Because I almost ripped it apart. Because
Mm-hmm.
you take off the weird triangle top, and then it's the Blu-ray case is in there. And I was thinking like it all came apart. No, you have to kind of like just boop, just plop it out into your hand, like your dick. Um, and then you can watch the movie. But they're taking these slipcases just to the next level, and it's ridiculous. And fuck them for it, because now I can't imagine owning it without this stupid cover that they made.
Uh-huh. So, but you have the Arrow one.
Yeah, the UK version. Yeah, the UK one.
So
So now
what's the difference between that and the?
I would imagine special features. I haven't compared. I'm not a Blu-ray nerd like Blu-ray.com and just
Wait,
listen.
what do you wait like?
I'm gonna
Blue
compare both screenshots
Sean,
to both
Sean,
things.
calm down. It's called blue-ray.com.
Yeah, sorry, blue-ray.com, where I would compare two different screenshots to two different releases and
Mm.
look at the bit rate and think, oh, and then crown a winner. I own the movies that I like and I watch them.
Do you
Um,
feel bad alienating Brian Sauer and Rob Galuzzo when you say things like
no, they can do what they want. It's fine.
that?
it's fine. I don't care. I'm the person that like I collected comics, but I read them. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow. Okay.
whoa, what?
Uh-huh.
Because I've known collectors and I collect things, but I collect things that like that I want to watch and read and toys that I want to play with. You know,
Hmm.
I've never been
Sean,
like
what toys do you want to play with? Like, how old are you? You're like 42, right? 41?
yeah, I don't really buy toys anymore unless they
Right.
break.
Well, what toys do you want to play with, buddy?
What?
Well, when you think about it, when you're like on the toilet or like you have a second to think to yourself and you're like, I want to play with a fucking toy. What toy is that?
Transformers, probably,
Transformers.
or
Okay.
Star Wars or original Star Wars toys.
Okay.
Mainly the ones I couldn't have as a kid because my parents said we were poor,
So
and
like the Migo? Is that the one that, right?
the
The Migo?
freaking the 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 Millennium Falcon giant spaceship toy.
Wait, do you say Falcon or Falcon?
I'll go in both. I'll say both, but then I always catch myself and say Falcon.
It's Falcon, right?
Yeah,
All right.
I think so. But so anyway, so I collect things, but I don't.
Uh-huh.
I'm not like I'm not. I mean, yeah, I don't want my kid wiping their boogers on it or anything. But I teach my kids that you respect what you collect, but I'm gonna watch the thing, and I'm not gonna compare it. And if it looks shitty, I'll be like, well, that looks shitty. Hopefully, somebody does it justice someday. But I'm not gonna obsess over it. The only thing really right now that I'm really obsessing over is I want The Abyss on Blu-ray and True Lies. And
The
James
what?
Cameron, I
Oh,
want
The Abyss.
I want The
Yeah.
Abyss because
Uh-huh.
it's never had a good release. It's had VHS, a shitty DVD, and that's it. Like it didn't even go like widescreen, anamorphic. It's like it's ridiculous. And fuck you, James Cameron. Same thing with True Lies. Never had a good anamorphic widescreen release. DVD looks like shit. Those are the last two things that I really want on Blu-ray. Everything else is gravy. So
Okay.
that's the kind of collector I am. So,
I remember in goddamn, maybe like 9th, 10th grade, I had a marine biology teacher, Mr. Bates, and Mr. Bates was out for he was out for like 2 weeks, and all that was left as far as the sub plans go were watch The Abyss and watch Waterworld. So so for literally like 2 weeks, it was probably more than that. Like I had a 7th period, so that was maybe like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like the teacher would alternate between The Abyss,
holy
like
shit.
watching like homegirl, like Mary, who was it? It was Mary Elizabeth Mastriano, right?
I think so, yeah.
Like watching her die, and then and like
Fight!
bring life to, yeah. And then the flip side was um Kevin Costner drinking piss, and then fucking Thora Birch like discovering this new world or whatever.
Oh my
But like,
god.
but literally for like 2 weeks, I would only watch The Abyss or Waterworld, and it came to a point where the teacher would put it on, and people and like the kids in the class would be like, "Ugh," and then I would pretend like we've never fucking seen it, and then I'd be like, "What movie is this?" You know, and then I don't know. Maybe it's my claim to fame. I'm
That's
not
funny.
sure, but
So yeah, Hell Comes to Frogtown. I mean, it's good, man. I don't know. The first time I ever heard of Hell Comes to Frogtown was in I was reading a magazine, and gosh, what magazine was it? Anyway, the singer of a metal band I really liked, and I can't think of their name right now. Shit.
Newfound
Um,
Glory.
Not Newfound Glory. No, they were like a southern rock. They were like a southern
Uh-huh.
metal.
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
No. I can't think of the name. Anyway, so the lead singer had a little section where he wrote about movies in this magazine, and he wrote about Hell Comes to Frogtown because they would find movies on the road, and that's a lot of touring bands like you need to kill a lot of time, so you're always kind of watching movies and everything, and he recommended Hell Comes to Frogtown, so I rented it on Netflix back when
Uh-huh.
you used to rent discs, and I watched it, and I fucking fell in love with this crazy movie about a man, his last man on Earth, the last fertile man on Earth.
Fertile as fuck, by the way.
Huh?
Fertile as fuck,
Fertile as
by the
fuck.
way.
Mm-hmm. And there's something about like a frog dick or something in the movie, and I was like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sold. I'm totally sold in this movie. So, and of course, Roddy Piper.
Sean, have you seen Midsummer?
I have not. I have not. I ordered the director's cut from UK because it is only an iTunes exclusive.
Oh,
Uh, which is kind of fucked up.
well, I
We live
want
in
to
a
see
weird.
the director's cut for sure. But like, that's so. Wait, you got a physical thing of it, or
A what?
like a physical disc of?
Yeah, from the UK of the director's cut.
Oh,
I
all right.
pre-ordered
Like,
it.
Okay, cool.
It's
Well,
weird. We're living in a weird time
yeah,
where
we
like the
are.
Like, here's the Blu-ray. Oh, by the way, you want the director's cut? Yeah, you gotta buy it on iTunes. Who the fuck uses iTunes anymore? Because is iTunes streaming now? I don't know. I haven't used. I use Vudu for like everything.
Yeah, no, I've been around where iTunes is like being used, but then I'm like, oh, let's watch I'm like, let's watch Midsummer. It has the director's cut, and they're like, no one fucking uses iTunes. And I'm like, then why the fuck are we watching movies on? It doesn't make sense, is what I gotta say.
It's a weird movie to get like a weird exclusive too, like Midsummer.
But you haven't seen it at all?
I haven't seen it at all. I actually, Fangoria came in the mail, and they had the front page for Midsummer, and I have stored that Fangoria until I watch Midsummer. I will not open up that Fangoria magazine.
Oh, do you know I'm in that Fangoria?
Yes.
Oh, you did? You knew that?
Because you
Oh,
tweeted.
that's so cool.
Because you tweeted about it.
Oh, okay. That's nuts, bro. Like, how crazy is it that like some fucking horror kids from the 80s or whatever are like, we're doing things now where Fangoria has to fucking recognize us. They're like, we'll print that, sure.
I guess.
I guess.
I'll put it in there.
That's nuts though, right? Like, do you think about that sometimes? Like, where you're like when you have a special guest on this show and you're like, oh, Phil was on my show. Like Phil Nobile Jr. was on my show. Like, that's weird, right?
It's weird. We had like Barbara Crampton came on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to this is okay. I had to delete a tweet. I went back and I looked back at my tweets from like the early years of Twitter.
Did you say you wanted to fuck Barbara Crampton?
I tweeted at her that I was
You're
watching
like,
her.
I will fuck you.
Not I didn't say fuck, but that
You said,
that
I'll
she was
fuck you. You said that.
no that she was naked. Like she was. I tweeted at
You
her
said you're super hot.
that I was watching.
My D and your P.
Not necessarily those words,
okay.
but it was pretty fucking embarrassing. Now putting it out there, it's been out there. Who cares? So I deleted that tweet because oh shit. Why didn't anybody call me on that? Everyone calls me on everything else on Twitter these days. Everything I say is under scrutiny. But the one thing where I'm like,
you're like, what's up, pussy? You like,
hey, what's up, Barbara Crampton? I'm watching this movie where I'm looking at your boobs right now. Like I tweeted at her. What the fuck was I thinking? What the fuck? This is look, if you haven't perused your early Twitter feed, do so and delete those tweets. You don't want those deletes coming back to haunt you.
You have to delete the tweets from like early, because I looked at my early tweets and I was like, why is it called AIDS? They're not very helpful. You shouldn't laugh. I deleted that one.
What the fuck? I'm laughing because what the fuck, man?
Why? I don't get it. Anyway, I don't like that joke.
No,
I don't know why you do.
That's not a good joke.
It's
I'm laughing because it's not a good joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, yeah, delete that shit. Almost like maybe delete the first 3 years you had Twitter. Just find a way to just delete it all. I haven't found a really good way to just obliterate years yet. There's probably a paid service, but I'm not going to pay for it. I was up at like 2 a.m. going through my Twitter feed from like 2008 or whatever, just deleting everything one at a time.
Sean?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Batman villain?
The Joker, man, the Joker. Oh, the Joker. I'm gonna come right out, the Joker. Oh. Did you know that the Joker movie's rated R? Mike Delaney, did you know that the new Joker movie is rated R? And if you bring a child to our movie theater, we will find you and we will make fun of you, pull you up in front of the entire crowd, stomp on your child's hands, and put their head into a bag of shit and throw them out while we humiliate them on social media and on our website blog.
And what website is this? Who are you?
It is called .com.
Oh, you're AlamoDraftHouse.com. Oh my god, bro.
Well, you set me up for that, man.
I did. I did.
I was like,
I have to
literally
pee
like,
so bad.
what
You
the
made me
fuck?
laugh so hard. I have to pee.
When I saw that poster they did, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? God, come on, guys, come on. And of
Yeah.
course, they're like one of their programmers in LA was like making fun of somebody who had to get up and leave from uh what some movie at Fantastic Fest, and he's put on Twitter like, how dare you, sir, leave at the beginning of the movie, sir. Like, well, maybe the dude maybe there's an emergency. Maybe he like covered horror and had to go watch this. Oh shit, it was a secret screening. Oh shit, this is not a horror
Maybe it's
movie.
a stupid movie from the guy who made School for Scoundrels.
So yeah, look at. If you publicly represent a company, just don't be a jackass. But I guess look at look at. We got to be kind of sort of political for film Twitter here a little bit.
Why?
Brad's not here. Well, because like sometimes we've said things in the past and we've got like a whole freaking hullabaloo
Do you?
by
You
somebody
get
got
that? You
offended
get a
and
hubble?
we
Wait, how do you say it?
there was a moment
Hullabaloo?
at a certain time when someone who was on the show was writing for a certain site and we made fun of that site and stuff and it became this huge hullabaloo. But it's just you and me, and we don't represent any sites. We represent ourselves and our own
Oh,
stupid
was
creative
it
shit.
bloody
So
disgusting?
no. Us and Bloody Disgusting are cool. There was the time when Brad made them think that the movie Life was a prequel to Venom.
Brad M was like freaking out.
Yeah,
So funny.
it was
That's so fucking stupid,
hilarious.
Sean.
It was really hilarious, but we're all cool now, and
But like, who cares if you aren't cool? I mean, I
Well,
don't.
they published a whole like story based off of Brad's rumor the fake rumor he started at
That's
a
so funny.
festival.
Brad's
Oh,
hilarious. Like, Brad Henderson is legit hilarious, and I think he's like one of the top like funniest people I know in real life. But sometimes he says shit, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, that's not funny. Like, but I honestly think he's hilarious.
oh, I love Brad.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Brad with all my heart, and Stephanie Crawford as well.
You wait, Stephanie Crawford with all your heart?
Well, I mean, I can't because I'm married. And if my wife heard this, which she won't,
Fair enough. I have two hearts.
there would be
Stephanie, I love you with both my heart.
perfect. All right. Well, we should probably start wrapping up. I need to go to bed and wake up at my day job tomorrow. But
You think so? I don't want to.
I don't want to either. I actually today I played hooky because my daughter was was sick, and this morning I kind of woke up like fuck. So I didn't go to work and I've been slamming vitamin C like all day long, and I took like a nap and everything. And so tomorrow I got to go to work. But
Poor Sean. What do you
I
have
know
to work, buddy?
work.
Uh-huh.
Fucking work.
All right. When are you gonna post this, man?
I don't know. We're not editing at all, so I'm just gonna put in the intro and outro and fucking dump it.
Yeah, do it. Do it for tomorrow. I want to hear it fucking tomorrow. I want to like commute to work, and I want to hear this fucking atrocity tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Was it an
It's
atrocity?
only a day away.
This is you and me basically unhinged with nobody to please. We're just kind of bullshitting. So I hope people. Hey, look. I hope you guys liked it.
Well, I'm trying to please Stephanie Crawford, to be honest.
Okay.
I want her to know that she's appreciated. Sean shit on Brad, but I'm not going to shit on Brad. And
I didn't shit on Brad that much.
Not going to shit on Stephanie Crawford.
No. By the way, they will be doing a Fantastic Fest episode.
Yeah.
And go to the Screamcast.com. Stephanie has been writing up a storm. There's a lot of great articles, a lot of great reviews. She's put down all this. She's basically covering everything she's watched over there. And I had to promise to hold off my whole site web redesign because she's putting out so much content. So, because I'm going to strip this
That's
site and
amazing, though, Sean. Like, because you don't give a shit about your website, but she does.
I just don't. I don't write. I'm not a writer.
Why
And we
not?
can't.
Why
Well, and
don't
we
you just
can't
write?
pay and we can't pay any writers. And everyone says like, don't
Why
take
can't
any
you pay
writing
anybody?
jobs that don't pay.
What's the
Huh?
matter with you? I'm not. Why am I fucking talking to you?
I don't know. I'm a. I'm just I'm just a fan of movies and horror movies. And,
Uh-huh.
I've tried to write. I'm doing too much to write. I would like very much to write, but I'm doing all this other ton of other stuff. So luckily Stephanie likes to write, and she's writing for the site.
Good news. You got
B
friends who like to write.
B Germain also writes on the site as well, and I think we're going to be getting some other contributors here as well. So shit, I'm just reminded I need to set up somebody's user account so they can write for the site. I'm awful at this stuff. There's a reason why Screaming Pods Network had to kind of vanish, because it's just I'm not a good leader of things.
You're a bad boss.
I'm more of a
You're a bad boss.
collaborator. I'm more of a collaborator.
Bad
But when it comes to
boss.
I'm a bad boss. And when we're not paying anybody, so just kind of then I start feeling bad, and whatever. Because we're not like Dread Central. We don't have like banner ads on top of banner ads all over our page that you can't even read on the mobile. I tried to look up a review this week or last week. I couldn't even. It was so inundated with pop-ups and ads that I couldn't even read the article, so I gave up.
You can't read though, so
I can't read. That's why I only I have somebody read the audiobook or the book to me, and then I kind of like an earpiece, and then I kind of say what they say. That's how I do my audiobook.
You're like Robert Evans. They like read it to you, and you're like, the howling, there was a werewolf that bit her in the dick, and you're like, bit her in the dick? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we are gonna wrap up. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hope you got to the end. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me you're leaving. The party's just begun.